Hello, Polly.
Today is Monday, December 3rd, 2018.
And InFocus starts right now. Welcome to InFocus. I'm Stella Essenmacher.
And I'm Leon Friedrichowitz.
There's a lot going on around campus.
Here's some important announcements from today's campus bulletin.
December has just begun, which means that finals are just around the corner. Every student knows that final season can be pretty stressful, and some of us tend to cram. Thankfully, the Mitchell Park Library is trying to make studying easier. On December 11th, 12th, and 13th, from 5 to 9 after school, the library is offering a great study environment, complete with tutors for multiple subjects, food, and some therapeutic activities. Students are invited to bring study materials and enjoy the opportunity to study for finals with people who are taking the same classes.
Some Pali students have put together a new resource to help students just in time for finals. Gamers are already familiar with the popular app Discord, which connects gamers to each other and facilitates communication using groups. But thanks to some Pali students, the app is now being used to help students study. Students can go to the link on the screen to join the group. The group is open to all Pali students.
Moving on now from what's going on around campus to what's happening in the world and locally today.
Let's take a look at topping today's headlines in today's News Minute.
The nation has lost its 41st president, George H.W. Bush. His spokesman says the former commander-in-chief died in Houston at the age of 94 Friday. Mr. Bush was a World War II veteran who later became a Republican congressman, diplomat, CIA chief, and vice president. That led him to the White House in 1988. During his presidency, he led a post-Cold War transition in Europe and the liberation of Kuwait in the First Gulf War. Sully, a yellow Labrador service dog who worked with late former President George H.W. Bush, is accompanying his master one last time by traveling to Washington with his casket.
North American leaders signed a deal that replaces North American Free Trade Agreement on the sidelines of the G20 summit. U.S. President Donald Trump and Canadian President Justin Trudeau and Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto participated in a ceremonial signing on Friday in Argentina. The rebranded deal is called the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, but it's not going into effect anytime soon. The agreement still needs congressional approval in Washington.
President Donald Trump says a second summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un will likely take place in January or February. He was speaking to one of the reporters on Air Force One during the return trip from the G20 summit in Buenos Aires, Argentina. The first summit took place in June in Singapore, but Mr. Trump has said that the next meeting will likely take place somewhere new. Many classrooms bear the American flag, but it has changed its look over time.
And Kyle, our very own resident historian, has been learning more.
What do you have for us today, Kyle?
Well, Stella, on this day in 1775, the HMS Alfred became the first ship to sail under the Grand Union flag, the precursor to the Stars and Stripes. Originally called the Black Prince, it sailed as a merchant vessel between England and her North American colonies during the opening months of the Revolutionary War. The captain was in support of the revolution, and his ship was absorbed into the Continental Navy on December 3, 1775, becoming the first ship to fly the Grand Union flag, which bore the characteristic 13 red and white stripes that our flag has today. Well, that's all for me. Back to you, Stella and Leon.
Thanks for that great story, Kyle.
The winter sports season is kicking off.
Jason is in the studio now with the latest in Pali sports news. Are there any wins in winter sports, Jason?
Last weekend, the teams didn't freeze up. However, there were not many wins, except for one, Stella. Let's check the scoreboard. Boys varsity basketball lost 54-68 against Caroma. Girls varsity soccer played a close match against St. Ignatius with a score of 1-2. Girls JV soccer came out ahead with 12 goals against South San Francisco, who had nothing. There are no games today. Back to you.
The wet weather of the past few days have been a welcome change for the most part, don't you think?
Yeah, I wonder whether Pali athletes are having trouble with the rough terrain.
Our meteorologist Thomas is in the studio now with today's weather report. Thomas, what can we expect out there today?
Well, it looks like the rain is gone for today, but it might come back in the near future. What's going on, Pally? It's your weatherman, Thomas Colburn. Let's talk about weather around the Bay Area today. So as we look at San Francisco, we have a high of 56 and a low of 46, roughly around 54 degrees right now with winds at about 12 miles an hour. As we cross the bay up into Oakland, we have a high of 58 and a low of 46, about 57 degrees, roughly the same wind as San Francisco. As we go to San Jose, we have a high of 59, low of 46, around 58 degrees. So that's our Bay Area temperature for today. So as we look at today in Palo Alto, today was around 56 degrees. We had a high of 58, a low of 46. Winds at about 10 miles an hour, humidity around 52%, so not very humid, precipitation at 10%. Tuesday and Wednesday, we're expecting a lot of rain, highs roughly the same, lows at around mid to high 40s. And as we look at the 5-cast, we're expecting rain Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday through Saturday, though, is going to be very nice and sunny, so make sure to get your vitamin D. All right, it's your weatherman, Thomas Colburn. Back to you in the studio.
Well, that does it for today's episode.
Be sure to visit our website to check out old episodes, check the bulletin, or to send us an email.
Until next time, have a great day, Pally.